and welcome to our program, Freedom and Union, the United States Colored Troops at Appomattox. My name is Dr. Dawn Chitty. I'm the Director of Education at the African American Civil War Memorial Museum in Washington, D.C. And we are so excited to host our speaker, Dr. Elizabeth Varon, and to place into context tonight's program. April 9th was the 160th anniversary for General Robert E. Lee's surrender to General Ulysses S. Grant at Appomattox in 1865. This was characterized as the end of the American Civil War, and it is a great opportunity for us to reflect on the role of the United States Colored Troops in that campaign in securing Richmond in 1865. Dr. Varon is a Langborn M. Williams Professor of American History at the University of Virginia. She received her PhD from Yale and has held teaching positions at Wesley College and Temple University. She is the author of 6 books, including Armies of Deliverance, A New History of the Civil War, which won the 2020 Gilder Lehrman Lincoln Prize. Her most recent book, Longstreet, The Confederate General Who Defied the South, has been reviewed in the New York Times, Atlantic, Wall Street Journal, Slate, Jacobin, and Guardian, and featured on BBC and C-SPAN and NPR networks. So Dr. Varon, you can take it from there.
Thank you. Thank you all so much for attending this program to mark this really important anniversary. So on January 2nd, 1888, the Reverend E.K. Love, a Georgia Baptist, addressed a gathering of African Americans in Savannah who had convened to celebrate the 25th anniversary of Lincoln's Emancipation Proclamation, of January 1st, 1863 proclamation. And Reverend Love began by noting that, as he put it, this day's celebration necessarily calls up the past. He solemnly invoked the brutality of slavery with all its inhuman hardships, as he put it. He then turned not to Lincoln or to the fateful year of 1863, but instead he turned in his speech to 1865, when, as he put it, quote, "The mighty God said to the raging billows of slavery, 'Thus far shalt thou go and no farther.' It was at Appomattox," he said, "amidst the awful clash of arms that the child of liberty was born." The war itself he described as the crimson stream that washed away the stain of slavery. So in highlighting the place of Appomattox in the story of emancipation, Reverend Love was acknowledging a powerful tradition among African Americans in the post-Civil War era, a strong belief that April 9, 1865 was a freedom day in which African Americans were both the liberated and liberators. And the enshrinement of Appomattox as a freedom day rested on 3 claims: that Black troops played a central, decisive role in Lee's defeat at Appomattox, that the surrender of Lee brought many enslaved people their first consciousness and experience of liberation, and finally, that the magnanimous terms of surrender that Grant offered Lee symbolized the promise of racial reconciliation and justice. So I'm going to scroll here through a few images. This, an image of Lee's famous retreat towards Appomattox Courthouse, west across central Virginia, ending here, where our drama unfolds. In the last clash of Grant and Lee, at the end of this long, desperate chase across the Virginia countryside from the trenches of Petersburg and Richmond to Appomattox, Lee's army tried on the morning of April 9, 1865, to break free of a federal trap, only to find that the last road south was blocked by the bristling bayonets and glistening musket barrels of Black soldiers in blue. 6 USCT regiments there at Appomattox stopped Lee's escape, with the 7th Regiment waiting in the wings. Lee is forced to concede defeat, and he surrenders that afternoon of April 9, 1865, at Appomattox Courthouse, the village there, in the McLean House, this famous image of Lee and Grant meeting to arrange the surrender terms. The 7 Black regiments at Appomattox numbered about 5,000 men in all, and they were a microcosm of Black life in America. They included formerly enslaved people who had been trained at Kentucky's Camp Nelson, enlisted in the South. They included free Blacks who had trained at Philadelphia's Camp William Penn. They included men who would become important race leaders in the post-Civil War era, such as the renowned historian George Washington Williams. I'll have a lot more to say about him. The Baptist editor William J. Simmons, who was an educator and a journalistic mentor to none other than Ida B. Wells. They included South Carolina judge and legislator to be William Whipper, and a soldier named George Edmondson, who was a descendant of Thomas Jefferson's and of the Hemmings family of Monticello. So I'm going to provide a little context here for the events of April 9th by observing that for all these soldiers, regardless of their background,